Now, the Nile is Africa's and the world's longest and almost certainly its most important river. It is not only a spectacle to behold, but a key resource supporting the livelihood of millions along its course. CCTV continues with its special coverage of the River of Life, and CCTV Africa has a dedicated team in Egypt leading this coverage. I'm now joined by Penina Karibe with more from that end. Penina?
Thanks, Beatrice. It's a warm evening here in Aswan, and this is a special coverage of the Nile, the world's longest river. Now, for the next 6 days, we'll be following this majestic river from here in Aswan, which is the Nile's entry point in Egypt, all the way until it pours into the Mediterranean Sea. It promises to be a remarkable journey, and we invite you to join us. I'm joined by my colleague Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed.
Hi, Penina. How are you?
I'm great.
Your day was good today?
It was fantastic. Cool weather, at least compared to yesterday. And I got a chance to dip my feet into the Nile.
Great.
Really nice.
This is a wonderful evening here, guys. It's wonderful weather, almost full moon. We are by the river bank. It's almost dark back there. You couldn't see it. And we are standing next to a wonderful Nubian house. Penina, can you realize the colors and the wooden door and the lanterns and these triangles up there?
It's a pretty decorated house. I noticed that, especially we've got the colors like you mentioned, at these like Nubian colors, or are these just, you know, your ordinary decorations?
No, typical Nubian colors. And if you notice also the carpet here,
right,
it's typical Nubian.
And then we have the drawing of a fish. It stands out on this outer wall here. Why the fish?
We are close to the River Nile in a way that would be very, you know, typical, be having a fish on the wall. And talking of the River Nile, I can say to you guys, it's very close to every Egyptian here. You would go to the River Nile in good times and in bad times. You would go to the River Nile to celebrate a wedding, a new baby, and you go there if you have bad times, you lose somebody very close to you, or you lose a lover even. This is Yasser Hakim reporting from the River Nile, and that will be like the introductory report for the River Nile and the reports to come for the coming 6 days yet to come. Please follow us. Yasser Hakim, Nile, past, present, and the future.
The river that gave life to this land flows through here in Aswan, the far south of Egypt. Many have disagreed over the source of the Nile in Eastern Africa. But for Egyptians, it means one thing: it's life. A step away from the river, and all you have is just desert.
Yet over the millennia, the Nile has some of the most fertile land in Africa. It's provided a transport network throughout Egypt, as well as supporting thousands of livelihoods across the country. The Nile was the driving force behind a great civilization that developed and rapidly advanced thousands of years ago. It is the life source for a nation, and to this day, it provides more than 95% of the water that Egyptians drink. New branches are to be cut to take its waters to the barren landscape in the west, opening it up to new settlements.
Egypt has tried to tame the River Nile before. We are on the Aswan Dam, which was built to try to control the flooding of the river. Even so, the River Nile remains a dominant force in this country. Ask any Egyptian what the Nile means to them, and you'll hear different stories. We're going to show you some of their tales in days to come. But what's more important is that for Egyptians, the Nile is about who they are and where they've come from. An extraordinary journey, and it starts here.
And Yasser Hakim paints a pretty clear picture of just how important the Nile River is to Egyptians. But you know, the importance of the Nile is captured right all the way back to its starting point in East Africa. It touches every country through which it flows. And you know, Mohammed, we got a few comments from our viewers in Africa just talking about how this majestic river has impacted their lives. I believe you have some of those comments.
Yes, exactly. Penina, Henry Marvelous says the Great Nile has provided us with fun like water rafting and just going to it and gazing at the beauty of the Nile.
We have a comment also from South Sudan. This is Caesar Tambua, who says it has a huge impact on the climate. It provides us with a source of livelihood through tourism. And he says, for instance, the waterfall in Numule town in South Sudan.
We have another comment from Uganda, a strong one. Katura Ghost says in Uganda, it's where the source is, but we are living and sleeping in darkness, despite the fact that the Nile provides power.
So it has been underutilized in Uganda. We have a comment from Senjombe Jackson, who says, I join Egypt on celebration of the existence of our great mighty river, the Nile. It is indeed a truly significant river in Africa. But you know, we cannot talk about the Nile River without mentioning the Nubian community. As the rest of the continent celebrate this great river, it has also brought pain to some extent to this community. Here's Fahmida Miller with more.
This is where Egypt's first open stretch of the Nile begins. It leads to a place Egyptians know as New Nubia. The Nile has played a huge role in the lives of most Egyptians, but for the Nubians, this river has also been a source of great upheaval. Maybe 50,000 people live in villages just like this one on the banks of the River Nile, just outside Aswan, fiercely proud of their ancient traditions. There's evidence of this heritage all around the village. Now, while the community is keeping the spirit of the Nubian culture alive, this school is preparing its youngsters for the modern world. Rab Suhail is the oldest school in the Nubian village and the biggest. One of the teachers from the school, Fatma, takes me to a classroom where English is being taught. Learning English is a bridge to the future for the children here.
A, B, C, D.
And this class of kindergarteners seems to be getting the hang of it.
U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
But the school also provides a direct link to the children's past by teaching their native language, Nubian. As a teenager, Murad Youssef was among the volunteers who helped build the school more than half a century ago. Now that he's the principal, he sees his current role as just as important in keeping traditions alive. Principal Murad's explained that what is important to him is explaining to everybody the importance of the language to make sure that traditions as well as the culture is maintained. Nubian civilization stretches back at least 3,000 years and spread from southern Egypt into Sudan. But across the millennia, the greatest threat to the Nubian people's survival came just 55 years ago, in 1960, when construction began on the Aswan Dam. The hydroelectric power the dam generated provided most Egyptian villages with electricity for the first time. The dam also prevents the Nile from flooding, and this in turn revolutionized farming in the country. But for the Nubians, the dam spelt big trouble. It created Lake Nasser, and that flooded much of their homeland. Thousands of Nubian people were scattered. Many of them ended up here. Their livelihood now depends on tourists. Most of the people here have opened up their homes, some with rather exotic house guests. The Nile River crocodiles too have found their habitat disrupted by the dam, so now they're kept here to lure in tourists. Visitors even have the opportunity for a hands-on experience, something, however, that I'm not keen to try. You also have baby crocodiles here.
Yes. That's
I don't think I don't think I can. Maybe next. The people here seem determined to keep the spirit of Nubia alive in their architecture, customs, and of course, in the classroom. It's a remarkable story, really, just how Egypt managed to tame the Nile here and also turn the Nubian world upside down. But over the millennia, the people of the Nile have learned there is a way to move with the river.
Very much when she's That was a very interesting report from Fahmida. I liked it very much when she screamed with the little crocodile. Would you do the same?
Absolutely not. I know crocodiles to be very ferocious animals. I mean, I have seen firsthand what they've done to people in East Africa, so I'd be afraid of even that tiny little thing.
But come on, it's very tiny little.
Still, we know how ferocious they get, Mohammed.
Anyway, okay guys, I guess you wonder about the kind of music we're listening to right now. This is typical Nubian music. Music is very important for Nubian people. They play it in all times. This is very crucial in their lives.
And it's actually very soothing. I mean, you just naturally sway to the sound of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
And it's very, rhythmic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I noticed they're wearing white, by the way. Why the white?
Guess why? Because it's very hot here, very sunny.
Right.
So the white color protects them from the heat of the sun and the ray of the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the little hat on their heads?
Well, this is very Nubian tradition, and women, what's really very interesting is that women sew them and made them and feel very proud about
So this is a
the
sense
pieces
of
they
fashion.
made.
This
Yeah,
is a sense of,
yes.
It's supposed to add a bit of flair to the outfit.
Exactly.
So the more creative it is, the more proud the man is of the woman.
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
That would perhaps put me to shame then.
Okay. Women are playing very important role here in Nubia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the kind of song right now they're playing, what is this? Is this a love song or what is this song about?
Well, people all over the world are obsessed with love.
Right.
So it's all the same here. It's a love song. So the lover is singing this song to his beloved.
What is he saying? Is it a heartbreak song or it's I love you song?
No, I love you, baby, and telling her sweet words. But it's, of course, it's in Nubian, so I understand little bits of it.
Yeah. Is Nubian learnt? Is it taught in schools here in Egypt?
What is really interesting about Nubian language, that it is only spoken, it is not written. So parents will teach them to their sons.
And that way it's only confined into the Nubian community.
Exactly.
It's not learnt by the broader society in Egypt.
No,
Okay.
no.
Right. So when would this kind of music then be played?
It could be played in weddings, it could be played in parties, it could be played at summer nights, like this wonderful summer night we're having today.
This would make a perfect setting for this kind of music, right? I mean, we have the fire right in front of us.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful warm night. The moon is out, by the way.
Yeah.
And we have the Nile right next to us.
And a beautiful woman
amazing.
next to me.
Oh, thank you, Mohammed. Thank you. So then, we obviously have the love music, but do we have maybe other kind of, maybe say special songs that are performed during special occasions in the Nubian society?
Definitely. There are special songs for the bride, other songs for the bridegroom, and love songs, as we said, or songs about Noba and old people and their heritage.
So it would be sort of a source of information and passing down that information to the younger generation.
Yes, exactly.
Right. But talk to us a little bit about how they've managed to preserve their culture. Because, I mean, listening to Fahmida's package, for instance, Mohammed, we've heard about how they were displaced with the construction of the Aswan Dam. And, I mean, it's just really been a transition for them. And they're really, really now struggling to maintain that culture?
Well, this is a very good point.
Right.
Well, if you look at major projects around the world, huge projects I'm talking about,
Yeah.
usually some people get affected and they get relocated in other places, okay? I think that happened with the Nubian guys.
Yeah.
But the good news is that they are keeping their culture, they're keeping their language, they're keeping their clothes, they're keeping their own culture and traditions. So it's still like their own traditional community back there in the old days.
Right. All right. So then, how do you dance to this kind of music?
Well, actually, I'm not used to
Oh,
dancing
come
this
on,
kind
stand
of.
up and show me how you do it. Stand up. Come on, Mohammed, stand up and show me.
It's
Just a
not.
little bit of a jig.
Well, I would believe that for old people, old Nubian people will dance like this.
So this would be the man or both men and women? Who would do this?
The man will dance like this,
Right.
and the woman will dance like with her shoulder,
Uh-huh. So
making
this
these
would be my kind of
sexy
dance.
moves, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
And-
This isn't actually hard to learn.
And young people nowadays, they
Yeah.
dance like this.
Oh, okay. So I see them doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool.
Yes, it is. It's enjoyable.
It is enjoyable, and it's something obviously we would do all night long, but we have to leave it now, at least at this point. I can continue practicing my dance moves, but for us here in Aswan, it's a pleasure. We shall see you all tomorrow.
Yes, follow with us.